Hello, welcome to Raven Light Healing Meditations. I'm Brenna. This is my 100-day Sit for Peace Mindfulness Meditation Challenge. Today is day 85. Let's practice. I would like to begin by extending gratitude to my friends and family, to my community, and to everyone on earth for being alive at this time. Thank you. Now getting the body into position, the legs crossed, the spine straight, letting the shoulders fall back naturally. Softening the forehead and loosening the jaw. Taking a nice deep breath. And close your eyes. Dropping into the present moment to explore the internal landscape. Allowing the breath to gather you into the present moment. Drawing the awareness inward. Softening the edges of the day. And bringing you home to this moment, right here and now. Today, I'm feeling excited and grateful. This evening, I'm going to go to the Hindu temple to chant the Hanuman Chalice. And I'm very excited to be connecting with the community and with the different cultures within the community. Finding ways to be accepting of all belief systems without rejecting any part or anyone. Because in understanding, we know that all is one, and one is all. Today, I will sit with Gene Key 42. A journey from expectation through detachment into celebration. It's a gene key of cycles of beginnings and endings, and of the stories we tell ourselves, and the stories we're ready to release. Taking a slow breath in and relaxing on the exhale. Allowing a soft intention to form. May this sit open me to the fullest of the present moment. May I trust in the timing of my life. And may I meet each experience with presence and grace. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. And breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Gently waking up the mind. Creating an awareness that is continuous and steady. Observing the present moment with neutrality. Gene Key 42 begins with the shadow of expectation. An expectation can be really subtle in how it shows up. It's a quiet belief that the future holds a greater promise than the now. For much of my life, I lived at what you'd call expectation station, waiting for the moment when everything would finally align, when I would feel ready, worthy, secure, successful, loved, or confident enough to begin living fully. Expectation whispers that happiness is somewhere ahead of you, just out of reach, waiting on the next achievement, the next relationship, the next version of yourself. expectation entangles desire with the mind, and this can make the mind fragile. We become easily disappointed, easily distorted, and easily pulled out of the present moment. Bringing awareness to the breath. Feeling the inhale, feeling the exhale, and allowing the breath to soften whatever arises. Now, expectation in itself is not inherently harmful. It simply becomes challenging when we allow the expectation to narrow our vision. When it pulls us out of the living moment and convinces us that we cannot be happy until something changes. We can always be happy, no matter what's happening around us. All we need to do is return home to the breath in the present moment. lesson began was simply recognizing that I had expectations at all. I often didn't notice until I was in the moment, feeling a certain way, and awareness would arise and say, well, what were you expecting? And in that moment, I could see the attachment, name the desire, and notice the story. And I could see that the attachments and the stories were pulling me away from the truth of what was actually happening. It's kind of like the truth being a blank coloring page, and our emotional charge are all the colors that we put onto it. So the image already exists, but the way it shows up to me is based on how I color it with my stories and emotions. And that is actually something I can control if I train and learn to relate to the emotions and the stories in a different way. Taking a deep breath into the heart space. And asking, what expectation have I been unconsciously carrying? What story have I been telling myself about how things should unfold? What would shift if I allowed myself to be happy now, even before anything changes? What if the present moment is already enough? Let the breath soften the edges arises from a lack of trust. A lack of trust in life, timing, and the unfolding of your life. Where am I being invited to trust more deeply? you've been gripping, and the conditions you've placed on your own happiness. For me, the gift began to awaken the moment I realized that I had expectations, and I started being mindful of them. The simple recognition, the awareness behind it, created space. Space to see the present moment as it truly is, not as I hoped it would be, and not as I feared it might become. A simple witnessing of what truly is. Bring your awareness to your heart space and feel the breath moving there. And inviting in some questions to contemplate. What expectation have I recently released or outgrown? And what opened up inside when I let it go? What does presence feel like in my body right now? But actually, detachment allows you to feel more intensely because you're no longer constricting your experience through the narrow lens of expectation. You let go of trying to control the moment, and you begin allowing it. And in this way, life begins to open up. There's a blossoming that takes place inside the human when we begin to allow life to be just as it is, without resistance. This gift invites you to develop a mind that is steady and stable. A mind that can observe emotions without becoming fused with them. A mind that can witness the full range of human experience without collapsing into the story. So ask, what emotion is present in me right now? Can I allow it to be here without needing to fix it? What happens when I let myself feel without attaching meaning? Allow the breath to soften the space around the questions. is the quiet confidence that every moment is connected to the moments before it and the moments yet to come. The Gene Keys describes it like a tapestry, threads woven from past, present, and future, each moment connected to the next in ways we cannot always see. I like to compare the gift of detachment to life feeling like a book. I am the character, playing the role. And I'm also writing the story as I go along. I'm also reading, fascinated and absorbed in each moment. And through detachment, not lost in the words or details, simply experiencing the unfolding. Breathe into that image. What chapter am I in right now? What themes are unfolding in my life? What wisdom is this moment offering me? How is this experience connected to what came before? Let the breath move through you like a gentle turning of the page. Celebration is more than an emotion. It's more than excitement or joy in an ordinary sense. It is a deep cellular recognition of the cosmic joke at the heart of existence. A laughter that rises from the place in you that has always known the truth. The Gene Keys describes this city as the moment when awareness merges back into its source, pure consciousness. The moment when the one who watches and the one who lives become the same. Celebration arises when you begin to see that everything is constantly dying and being reborn. Every thought, every emotion, every identity, every single cell in the body. You are a passageway through which matter becomes energy, and energy becomes matter again. A river of transformation that has no beginning and no end. Imagine sitting beside a river, watching the currents move, each one disappearing from view as soon as it appears. This is the movement of life. A movement that isn't really movement. A dance that isn't really going anywhere. A flow that endlessly renews itself. And somewhere deep within, something begins to laugh. A soft, cosmic laughter that sees the meaninglessness and the magnificence of being human. This is not a mocking laughter, but a liberating one. A laughter that says, you were never separate. You were never behind. You were never late. You have always been whole and complete. Let that truth settle into your body. Deepening the breath and feeling into the body. Bring your awareness back to your heart space and notice what feels different now. Even if it's just a subtle shift, a lightness or a softening, become aware of the difference. Feeling anchored in our center, calm and peaceful, and at home in the present moment. And I thank you for being present with me during this journey. I definitely got what I needed from this meditation. And my wish for you is that you will find enough goodness in others to believe in a world of peace. Thank you. That is the end of day 85 of my Sit for Peace meditation challenge. May you find peace and happiness on your human journey.